And
Things. Yeah, yeah, I didn't realize you were a plant manager prior. What?
yeah, for 3 or 4 years at Agapir Natural Don Mills.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
And actually spent most of my career, well, probably 15 years in that facility in different roles, mainly QA. But yeah.
Nice.
And yeah, and the current role is troubleshooting, for listeria, sanitation audits, training, air sampling, that type of thing.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
in plants quite a lot.
Yeah,
And
quite a lot.
dealing on
Yeah.
the floor in a training slash discovery way.
Yeah, yeah. And I run Kaizens and that type of thing for sanitation. Probably you're familiar with a lot of this stuff yourself. So
Yes, me being working for another chemical company,
yeah,
we're always looking at CI savings and everything. But the nice thing is that there's room for everyone, and I
yeah,
think all the
that's true.
plants, had those CI savings and were, I guess, provided the opportunity to take advantage of everything that we can offer. I know I definitely feel that it would make food safer.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Yeah, definitely room for everyone.
Awesome, awesome. You go to a lot of plants then, you're doing a lot of audits. Anything currently right now that you're seeing is kind of either trending, or has it been with your many years of experience? Are you finding that it's the same stuff coming up all the time, and we're just using like different methodologies to try to, more innovative ways to try to get it taken care of? Or is it just that the people in these facilities haven't been brought up to speed with the way things are done today, and they're just kind of trying to figure it out themselves?
Well, I think it's a bit of a mixed bag. It's always great to go into a plant and give your advice, and the people are, they have a mature QA program, so they adopt any recommendations usually right away. But that's sort of more a rarity, I think.
Hey,
And
you put in the water, you can't force them to drink.
exactly, and just running into a lot of plants that I guess they don't. They're more. I get it, production, but
Money, money,
they just
money.
don't value the QA side and realize that that is going to cost them unless they, have a really good program as well in QA, and especially sanitation, which is, the first ingredient for quality in the plant. So, yeah, so it's kind of a mixed bag. There's, I guess in some cases, there's some young people don't want to, always put in the hours or the time. And, that, I mean, I don't want to generalize, but there's some young people that are, work really hard and put in the extra time and really are focused. Right. So, that's the bottom line. It's a mixed bag.
No, I definitely see it as well. I know a lot of the times when we're out in plants and we're making recommendations, we'd love to see QA there when we're on site in the middle of the night or something like that. But very seldomly are they there to see it firsthand. And also when we look at their floor time, most of the time, a lot of them as well, not all of them,
Yeah,
they spend more time in an office.
exactly.
Dealing
Yeah.
with their KPIs, whatever it may be. So we always try to push them, but I think that's always been a constant struggle, and it sounds like it has been for a long, ongoing time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And you can always tell also when you go in a plant on sanitation, if they have a sanitation supervisor or manager, a lot of times there is no one really other than maybe a floating supervisor, or sometimes not even that. So
Nice. Well,
yeah.
we're all dealing with COVID right now.
Yes.
How have you found the pandemic and the impacts on Diversey and the way it either has impacted your company or your customers?
Definitely, obviously a big focus on special cleaning, and protocols for if an employee is COVID positive, and a lot of proactive, preemptive in employee care areas, locker rooms to keep them clean, change rooms clean, washrooms, obviously a more focus on sanitizers that are effective against COVID. A lot of remote work. A lot of customers obviously don't want or minimal or no contact with chemical representatives, and it's kind of gone in. With this third wave now, it's kind of quieted down now in terms of getting into plants, but in between January and now, we were in plants much more until quite recently. It had picked up again. So, yeah. How about you?
What we found is that, yeah, we definitely had the, don't come see us. A lot of customers are saying not at all. Some are, it's, it's a gamble. See us, let us know when you want to, and we'll tell you at that time. But the other thing we're finding is that, normally whenever we went into a plant, we always had that form that stated the GMPs. And those are just standard, GMPs for all food plants. And from my observations and from discussing and talking with people, we found that it's almost like a lot of those have been forgotten about because COVID has taken such a front and center. It's so demanding that it's like, okay, everybody wash your hands, put your mask on, whatever it may be. And, but you look around and you're still seeing people, touching stuff when they shouldn't be, gloves on equipment. Just again, really, it's almost like they took us, just a little break from the regular GMPs in a lot of areas, and everything is strictly COVID focused. So we're really focusing on making them aware that yes, it's a COVID time, but you also still have to take that first thing very, very seriously as well that I sign, now 2 sets of documentation. So, and then of course it is exactly like you said, it's the disinfectants, is the big one, hand sanitizer, it's sourcing, getting the stuff from reputable places now that every place and every chemical manufacturer is after these raw ingredients. I heard horror stories where a company was caught with a tanker from China and it was industrial hand sanitizer, not food and food grade. And so they're out on that. And what do? And they contact us and how can we help them with it? But honestly, if it wasn't COVID, we could, no problem on our ZEP side of things, having to do with food and beverage, but no person right now. It's
it's hard prioritizing your and spreading out if you don't have the supply, spreading it out at certain times to all your customers. And some customers want all your stock, but you can't give it to them.
That was the craziest thing. I'm like, I don't sell masks. Like, I know you're yelling at me, but I can't produce them. I don't sell them. I don't sell masks. That was not strictly chemicals. So no, it was interesting to see exactly what kind of came out of this and when it challenged everybody. The remote work's been very difficult as well, just because a lot of plants don't really have any internet reception when you get in there on those big steel roofs.
Yeah.
For them to walk around with you and show you stuff or whatever it may be, it's been very odd. It was nice to be able to get out to a few places, but now it's almost been, Ontario's shutting down. It's titrations and stuff. So they're just kind of like, don't see us. We'll catch you when we do. They put an amendment into CFIA. But there has been, definitely a few places that we've been able to go out to, and it's not just all sit in front of the screen like now. So it's been pretty fun. With all your years of experience and again, sanitation quality is kind of your sweet spot. Any words of advice you could give to any aspiring quality people or sanitation people? Something that you'd like to see or that would benefit them?
I guess we both kind of touched on it, is that if you're in QA, I think it's really important that you get out on the plant floor and that you spend at least, when I started out, it was my boss who had, lots of experience, more experience than I had at the time. You have to come in at least once a month on sanitation shift, even if it's just to listen to, what the sanitors or the sanitation crew workers are saying, even if it's just to listen to them, but just to understand what they're doing, how you can help them. And just by doing that, huge payback by just showing a little interest in your sanitation crew, how much they'll do for you when you bring up, that you want them to focus on this or that particular aspect of the sanitation program to improve quality. So, I think that's probably number one, you kind of walking the talk and getting out on the floor.
Awesome. Yeah, we always we like to tell people when it's like a new plant build, or if we have any. Well, usually it's in new plant builds, but we always say that the sanitation people are kind of your last line of food defense and all that stuff. But yet, unfortunately, sometimes you treat them as last as well, not last line. So we always say if you can, when we're talking to plant managers or owners of companies, but it's hard to find good sanitation people. So when you look at production and all that, production comes in, they make a big mess, and then it's for them to clean up. Maybe if they could get like a shift premium for being on sanitation, hey, maybe a production guy would aspire to be a sanitation worker, flip the switch a little bit, could help create a different culture or increase morale. And some listen to us, some don't. And a lot of the times it's really hard to, validate it because they don't always stick around.
Yeah.
So in the ones that we talk to them and the ones that have, put it into practice, sure, sanitation are happy, but is it so important that it keeps them around for 20 years compared to some other places when it's, the type of work has a lot to do with the fulfillment and how long people will stay. So I find that one is one of our things that we kind of hint at, but
some people stay on sanitation their whole life because it fits in with their lifestyle and they like it. They others don't want to, majority of people don't want to stay on sanitation.
That's beyond
out of there, but maybe it can be a training ground for someone who wants to get into quality assurance or wants to get into the operations side of the plant.
That's an amazing point, actually, right there. I would love to see some kind of stepping stone, because I always see, which boggles my mind a lot, that people hire within plants without somebody having any credentials. They just move them up, And what I don't really see is from sanitation to quality jump.
Yeah.
And I know there's a big gap of education in there.
Yeah.
However, I know that plants and companies have all the resources to provide the education, to offer it to their employees. And I think that's actually a gap right there. I don't see that. I don't see many companies saying, hey, listen, if you take these 3 university courses, or if you jump on this Conestoga food program or something like that, we're going to pull you from sanitation and bring you as a quality tech.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an interesting one. I'm actually, I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. When I worked at Kraft, someone there in corporate and sanitation always said, sanitation is the first ingredient for quality, and it's another, and so many people don't consider that, but
no. And you look at where a lot of sanitation people, like I say, some of those maintenance or sanitation closets they're just, they're not kept in the highest regard of compared to the front office and everything. Sometimes they, their hours are a little tough, and their area of where they get to be positioned in a facility, they don't always have the best resources, but yet they always preach about how important they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always a big disconnect I find. Okay. Well, I'm just winging this. So I did it backwards. I was first supposed to ask you about your company and all that stuff, which I brought in there, but it's also your time to shine. So I got to remember that. Is there anything you'd like to highlight about Diversey for letting the people know out there of what Diversey can do? And
well, I guess, Diversey kind of prides itself in giving good customer service, and that when, a customer needs us, we'll show up in the plant, whatever it is to help them. And, we've got a lot of new training platforms going on, Hygiene Academy, remote learning, customized for remote learning training. So those are some of the things that
Remote learning is
I
going to
guess
be
I'd
big,
like to
right?
highlight. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the remote learning is definitely big. It stretches way farther, and anyone can take advantage of it. And I know that's definitely a trend. Everyone's kind of going the remote slash e-commerce route as people just have more access to information. So awesome. Okay. I, besides once I watch this again, how disappointed I'm going to be, but
Well,
I don't like ever not being prepared, and I
well,
literally
it's
off
probably a
work.
little
So yeah, this was just me just
too
throwing.
laid back myself here, but
Yeah. So yeah, but this will give me something to work with. So now I can take it to this Filmora software that I've got downloaded on my computer. I can upload it, edit
yeah, and
stuff.
this is just a trial, so this is
Yeah,
real,
honestly, the last time I was doing anything like media related, I guess you would say, because this technically is sort of like a media interview,
Yeah,
except for some reason with nobody around and no cameras in real life, you don't feel nervous.
yeah, yeah,
I just feel completely content. And normally, if you stick a camera in my face and then go, Brett,
yeah. I would be more,
it just throws
more,
me.
yeah,
Yeah,
ambivalent about that.
yeah. And I just thought that maybe because I was doing the interview, that this would feel that way, but I don't know.
No, it feels
Maybe it's also because I know
pretty
you.
natural. Yeah, it
No, it
feels
does. It
once you
does feel
start
quite
talking.
natural. So yeah, I like
Yeah,
it, and I think it will actually feel natural with other people. I hope other
yeah,
people are just as comfortable because I don't know. We still have to, we have our committee or whatever it is, but um, yeah, we may be rotating our interviewers and all that kind of stuff down the road. So yeah, I think this is pretty good. I don't want to go too huge on a file type, so I'm
yeah.
gonna stop this recording right now.